And we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Unblinded Real Raw. I'm excited because we have some like throwbacks in here. We have energy here again with Vivian rocking out with the red, with the lipstick, and plus we got some cool folk from like all over the place. We have people that are returning for their second time. We got some cool folk from Cali Law. We're discussing, Corona dues, etc. But more importantly, we're to have some fun, show like the importance of connection, influence the superpower, and like maybe learn something. So Vivian, Sean, what is happening? What is going on today?
I'm super present to gratitude. I'm super present to amazing and incredible people. And like, it's about them, not us, but we'll create some access maybe. So Vivian, who do we got? And welcome and what's up? Welcome back, Vivian. We missed you.
I know, I miss being here. It feels like coming home. So I'm super excited. And that's
hey, Vivian, how does it feel like when you're off for a couple of days and like the person that's stepping into your spot is like the foremost body language expert on the planet, Jan Hargrave? Like, that's pretty cool. Like
that is amazing. She is astounding.
Yes.
I want her on my team. I want to be part of whatever she does.
Amazing. So who do we got, Viv?
We have Jolie Dawn. She helps women engender financial success by helping them tap into their spiritual treasures. The creator of the Dare to Prosper Challenge, a hypnosis, meditation, and prosperity activation process with 1,500 women enrolled so far and from around 40 countries. Jolie specializes in helping spiritual creative women have multiple 5-figure online launches and set up their first 6-figure business, which makes sense because she was named by Pacific Magazine one of San Diego's top 30 under 30 entrepreneurs and has helped women create millions in revenue since 2013. She's also a 6-time best-selling Amazon author, and one of her books is called Empowered, Sexy, and Free, which I just love. She's also a writer for Entrepreneur Magazine and recently signed a major publishing deal, which I'm curious to know. And her publisher happens to be the same as Eckhart Tolle's, the spiritual leader and author of The Power of Now.
Jolie, what's up? How, like, that is like, amazing. Like, how are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. I'm feeling wonderful. I'm leading, showing up, doing the best I can to lead prosperity during these crazy times we're in.
Yeah, that is really cool. And really congratulations on a truly outstanding series of accomplishments. Like, what drives you? You're clearly driven. There's like massive vision. Like, what's driving you?
Oh gosh. What drives me is, I guess, coming from a past of a lot of heavy emotional burden and having a spiritual awakening young and realizing I can do anything that I want to do in this human experience and feeling like I want to max it out while I'm here on the planet.
Yeah. Would you mind share the access to your spiritual awakening? Is that like cool and something for here or no?
Yeah, we can. It was 2008, economic collapse in America. I was just transitioning into womanhood. I was turning 20, headed into college when it really hit my family quite hard. My dad's law firm really struggled. He was 7 figures in debt and the whole saga ended in his suicide. And it was so traumatic. Money to me was trauma. Money is my family is falling apart. Money to me is everything is unsafe. And I did a lot of work on the energetic level to reprogram my unconscious beliefs. And I'm so passionate about helping people unlock their prosperity because scarcity sucks. And it's so deeply programmed in us. And it causes all types of mental health issues. And I'm here to awaken prosperity in everyone.
Well, Jolie, that resonates deeply, and I am so sorry for your loss. And but turning it into this why and this energy for people, like it just explodes out of you. So thank you really for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. On a different note, for a moment, Coronado, one of the most incredible to me surf destinations and beautiful places in the world. How far from where you live now is that?
So I live in Los Angeles. So I'm
about. I live in San Diego. I bet.
Oh, I'm from San Diego. I live in Los Angeles right now.
So how far away were you growing up?
Oh, far. I was technically in San Diego, but I was about an hour east into the mountains. So 1 hour from the coast. I love Coronado. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah, very, very cool. Well, thank you and welcome. And let's have you open to having some fun today?
Yeah, ready. Bring it on.
Vivian, we have somebody else remarkable today, truly.
I wish you could see, but both of your contestants have varying degrees of beautiful red hair. It's just awesome. Ooh. So they're going to be on fire, physically and for real.
Bring in the heat. Bring in the heat.
Whoa, Bella's like ready to go.
Bella Verita is the CEO and founder of the first and only female-led sales recruiting agency serving US, Canada, and Australia. She aligns impact entrepreneurs with top female sales talent. Bella has been selling since she was 8 years old. By 19, she was a top income earner in a network marketing organization, and she quickly discovered something about sales that her competitors didn't seem to get, and that is to be tenacious and to have a true desire to make people feel loved, heard, and understood, so that you can do away with the manipulative sales tactics that have been an industry standard. So as a result, she built a multiple seven-figure real estate company by the age of 24, becoming the #1 best business broker in the state of Nevada. Some may say she has sales in her soul. Now, as the CEO of Align Sales Services, her passion is helping businesses scale and women create financial independence through sales.
Sounds so good when you read it. Can I get that on recording?
Done.
Like Vivian like rocks it out. So Bella, similar question, like selling at 8, like what were you selling at 8?
I had a craft stand. So I grew up in Houston, and I've always been innovative. So, you know, kids usually have like lemonade stands. So I was like, well, I don't want to do that. Everybody's doing that. And I wanted something that I could sell ongoing. And so I started selling, I would make wreaths, and I would make them like seasonally, like whatever the month was. So like now I might make a Memorial Day wreath or a summer wreath, or, you know, and Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So my customers always came back. I would set my table up in the front yard, and I just learned really early on to like ask them what they would want on the wreath, so then I could make that on the wreath and then sell it to them. And had a really great business model because my parents bought all my crafts for me, and then I got to keep all the money that I sold. So it was a really awesome business model.
Yeah, can we replicate that like all around the world? That would work, Bella. I love it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How does it, like, you're switching seats, right? Like, how does it feel to be in a seat?
It feels honoring, actually, because like the couple of times that I have watched, I've learned so much myself from the people like competing, if you will. And so it just feels like an honor to be here. Like, I just hope, you know, there's people out there watching that get to take something away from us. And I know Jolie, so it's really super fun to play with her. And so it's just exciting. And I believe between the both of us, like there'll be a great service in the world. So I'm just excited.
I believe that too. Thanks for being here, Bella. And just quickly, Fernando, are you still with us, brother?
I'm right here. What's happening?
Hey, what's happening is this. Can you just drop in for like 20 seconds on like, why do we do the Real Raw and what is this?
So why do we do the Real Raw and what is this? So the reason why we do it is because #1, it is the greatest vertical innovation in like marketing history. And more importantly, it's just a beautiful opportunity to connect with some really cool people, teach a couple things like #1, that influence is a superpower. #2, it's present here. And obviously we have some rock stars in the world of influence, and we can teach it. And we really come in here to get together, connect, truly merge ecosystems at a high level. And more importantly, like it's like the backyard of your second grade, like grammar school, is when someone is incredibly good at something and they're like, I'm going to beat you in free throws. It's not like talking about it. It's like, let's go in the back and shoot some free throws. So today we're shooting free throws, we're throwing jabs, all with love, but we're competing to demonstrate that influence is singularly the most superhuman ability that any male or female can have. Sean, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, and in love and connection and to make the world a greater place. That's what is present. That when we realize that the distinction between our influence as people is not putting on a sales hat and becoming somebody different, but unlocking and unveiling truth, that's when influencers influence influencers to merge ecosystems to make the world an even greater place. And Vivian, to go along with Jolie and Bella rocking it out, we have 3 incredible judges today. And who are they?
We have Rajat Bardwaj, is an attorney at Carnegie Law. He serves as a senior associate in the Healthcare Recovery Department, primarily focuses on litigation and trial practice. His recent victory in the Supreme Court of New Jersey led to a landmark decision supporting the rights of healthcare workers to fair and just reimbursement. Rajat loves competitive sports. He began taking martial arts at the age of 7 and is trained in Muay Thai, science of 8 limbs, has Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Rajat's causes include positive youth development. He has been part of various youth development organizations and serves both as a board member and peer mentor.
Raj, welcome, brother. How are you today?
Hello, Sean. I am wonderful. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
What did it feel like to win in front of the New Jersey Supreme Court? Like, what was that? What was present for you?
We felt vindicated. You know, it's a issue that we've been dealing for more than 3 years. But I think what was most important was that it changes the landscape for a lot of healthcare workers and medical providers. And the fact that we were able to contribute to that, honestly, made me feel really great. It made me feel part of something more important than just myself or my team.
And how about the influence as a superpower thing? Have you observed the formula, and how does that work out in first what you've seen?
The communication model is something that we utilize in all of our negotiations. As you know, Sean is aware, our department brings in excess of $2 million a month for our clients. We handle everything from trials to appeals. We had the Supreme Court victory. And we're also on the cusp of an appeal that will change the landscape of the insurance industry. It's worth tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. So the communication model has actually been really key in getting us to where we are, Sean.
Yeah. And Raj is one of the 125 incredible teammates that we have at Callaghan Law. Raj, super appreciative for you being here and for the leadership and growth you have demonstrated as integrity-based human influence has taken such a deep root hold of your life, and your commitment to its mastery is clearly showing. So thanks, Raj.
Thank you, Sean.
Vivian, we got some other rock stars.
Yes, we do. We have Jo Davis. She's an author, speaker, adventure addict, and the founder of Lift a Sister Up, an organization driven by the belief that our highest calling is to support and inspire other women to chase their dreams, both personally and professionally. Jo is a psychic intuitive with over 25,000 followers and students, believing that everyone has these powerful gifts. She shows ordinary people how to tap into their intuitive superpower through her course, Big Mess to Big Magic. She is also a world-renowned artist and owner of Sky Soul Photography and Sky Soul Art, showcasing over 1,000 pieces of artwork with clients worldwide. And right behind her, she has a beautiful piece of artwork that is fantastic that we just talked about that is reminiscent of Kandinsky, Miro, Georges Braque, in my opinion. Anyway.
Vivian, you are a rock star. You belong on Jeopardy, and certainly I would want to phone a friend if we're on like Who's a Millionaire or whatever the show was in the art category. So Jo, thank you. Like an artist, mega talent, adventurer, psychic, intuitive. Like you're up to huge things in the world. Like why are you doing all this?
You know, I'm also a adventure addict. I'm a skydiver. So I'm a firm believer that life is short and burn bright. And I believe we're here to lift, love, serve, and lead, and in that order. And I went through a period of time where I was very isolated and very alone and couldn't connect with my female tribe, and I wasn't surrounded by good people. And what I realized was I had to work on me, and I wasn't that great of a person. And so I had to really look inside and decide I'm going to become this person so I can be a magnet to those other people that are the kind of people that I want in my life. I had to start with me. So
Super
it's
cool.
an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jo. And where are you calling from today?
Fort Worth.
Oh, super cool. And Jo, like the adventure aspects of your life, when did they begin? And is it like all skydiving, or is there other aspects to it?
I think skydiving, I don't know if you can do anything much more
No,
adventurous.
I'm not looking for like more. I'm just wondering, so like skydiving is your adventure, like that's your adventure outlet.
That's my adventure outlet. I'm big in nature too. I feel like you can get the same adrenaline rush sitting on a mountainside as you can jumping out of a plane, and that connection to the divine and that God stuff. And I really think it's a great way to clean out that red phone to God, or whatever you want to call it, so that you can tap into your intuitive powers. So it's something I certainly shift people towards in my coaching, reconnecting with that part of you that's nature, that's your intuition, that's all of it flows together.
And where are your favorite places to go in nature, Jo?
I love Aspen. In the summer, I love the beach. I'm not a big fan of this couch, but I'm working with it.
Well, Joe, thank you for being here. Amazing. And we're going to get to our final remarkable judge. Vivian?
We have Matt Atkinson. He's a residential mortgage lender branch manager for 14 years with a total of 18 years of experience. He's a real estate investor of over 15 years focusing on rentals, fix and flips, assignments, and hard money lending. He's a real estate investing consultant for 9 years, assisting others to build a real estate portfolio to complement their career to enhance their #lifestyle.
Matt, welcome, brother. How are you?
Unbelievable. Thank you.
Yeah. And so what's present for you as we get ready to roll today?
I listened to one of these calls about 1 to 2 months ago from a friend named Sean Grossi that posted this on Facebook, and that's a platinum partner. And I was so impressed with the information. I've been able to invite a lot of other people to watch, and very fortunate to be able to participate and learn from other individuals who are skilled at sales so that I can be able to develop and influence myself, and then also be able to give back to other people.
All right. Well, Matt, that's a absolute pleasure, sir. Love Sean to no end. Sean was just on actually yesterday. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, super cool. And where are you calling from today, Matt?
South Jordan, Utah.
Okay. Well, we got folks from like all over the place, east, west, and everywhere in between. So, Matt, thank you. And we're going to drop in just a minute. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Okay. So we also have, Vivian, the one and only Mr. Orange, Frank Clark, dear friend, successful entrepreneur, crazy person, and friend of yours as well, Vivian. Yes?
Yes. I mean, I know him through Michelle Sorrow, and I've known him for having such a bold personality, and because he wore the orange hat famously at Date with Destiny, and he's just got this beautiful heart, spirit, personality, and he's so go-getting and affable, and, you know, he's crushing it.
Yeah.
He's a podcast orange crushing it, man.
Yes, and there's a movement, Frank. Like what's up with the movement?
Well, Sean, first, thanks for having me on here. The Orange movement really it's spawned out of the Date with Destiny seminar, where the orange spiral dynamic energy is based around being driven and being, thriving and wanting to win and having that desire for being an overachiever and an adrenaline junkie and thrill seeker and, just that inner passion that we all have for being successful and for growing other people's success. That's where the bottom line on it really. That's the baseline of the whole thing.
Cool. And why are you here? Like, what's attracting you to Real Raw, and like, what's the story?
Well, I've been here several times as pretty much every role. And what draws me here is that I learn something every single time. Plus, you get to meet some incredible people on this show. And I mean, just the breadth of knowledge that you take away from this that you get to share with other people is mind blowing every single time.
Oh, super cool. I appreciate you enormously, Frank.
Thanks, Sean. Likewise.
Yeah. So
guess what? Who is last? Or who is first? It's Sean Callaghy, the visionary behind Unblinded, the quarterback of our daily huddle, and referee of the Real Raw, so that we can experience the life-changing, integrity-based human influence formula. And if you didn't know this about Sean, he is a legally blind warrior adventurer.
Vivian, thank you. And that was not something we had done before. So if I'm turning red, thank you very much. But what is present for me is I realized thank you, Vivian, that was beautiful. And you launching your incredible show, Dishing It, your remarkable effort and heart in all of this. I couldn't thank you enough, Vivian. You bring such incredible energy and brilliance to the Real Raw. It is just incredible, and everybody says it. So thank you for that.
You make my heart filled with so much emotions. Thank you.
So listen, final, right? So we move on from this like dinner party lunch thing, introducing ourselves, kind of love fest. It's the gamification and fun. Why did I do this? Well, I realized long ago that experiential dynamics were how we prove like what is. And I remember when I first graduated from law school, I had hoped to go on to play professional sports. I was captain of the Columbia University baseball team in 1992. My degenerative eye condition, retinitis pigmentosa, cost me that opportunity. I went to law school and loved being involved in moot court. They were scoring and like I was winning and I could prove what I knew and I was innovating and learning, and it was like an amazing experience. And then when I came into the real world, the business world, it was different. It was like, how many hours could you bill at a law firm, or who was politically connected? I'm like, this is crazy. there's not objective measurements like there were in sports, like there was academically, like there wasn't even in moot court competitions. And then, so I learned to sell. I quit my job. I learned that influence was a superpower with integrity. I started my own law firm and a credit card. I had 40 people working for me within 2 years, something before or since I've never heard about. Not about me, but about the superpower of influence and knowing what to do with it with a stage and a microphone. So that was like part one. Part two was after having achieved some things that I wanted in my life. Not the wealthiest man in human history, but I was very financially free and abundant at a very young age. Had the choices to have multiple homes, travel the world, do things with my kids, coach every one of my kids' sports teams, which was my primary goal in their childhood. It was the life I wanted. It was success as I defined it. So then I reemerged when my kids got older, retired me from my favorite job. My son's a sophomore in college, daughter's junior, senior in high school. And I'm like, I want to be able to compete and show that influence is a superpower. And people are like, I can coach, I can lead, I can lead, I can coach. So I had this remarkable encounter, mind-blowing. I ended up in an innovation session for a business startup with people from the Tony Robbins world, people that Frank would know, Matt would know, I believe, and other folks here might know. And I was there, and all of a sudden I'm with like 20 incredible people in a room. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this thing called like a pitch off. And I'm like, first of all, I don't like the word pitch, right? I like to present, I don't like to close, I like to form agreements, but okay. So, and the person running it said, well, I teach influence on stage in the world of Tony Robbins. And I'm going to like beat everybody here and teach you a lesson. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. Like, that's really kind of interesting. And he was kind of like taunting and cocky. And then I'm like, yeah, like that's not going to happen inside. And respectfully and with humility, but factually, I blew the room away. I blew him away. And everybody became all of a sudden very curious, like, who's this guy? Like, what's the story? And not long thereafter, I had the honor and privilege, and I've done it the last number of events, of standing up on the stage in Tony Robbins' world and having conversation and leading and training and doing the things I did for much smaller groups years ago to build my law firm, and now doing it on a much larger stage. And the real Raw was born out of exactly that. How do we demonstrate that we really have the power with integrity to influence people? How do we do that? And I'm like, let's prove it. Let's not talk about it. Everybody's a coach. Everybody's a trainer. Everybody says, and I love all people, but let's like figure out what's what and who's who really. And the real Raw was born. So thank everybody that's been on it to date. We're at an episode somewhere around 45-ish. We do this every day and we're accelerating and expanding. And I thank all of you, Jolie and Bella, especially for your vulnerability, for your commitment. And it's time to drop in. So Jolie, are you ready?
Ready.
Bella, you ready?
Heck yeah.
All right. So here's how it goes. It's a 6-minute conversation. It's split down the middle. The goal of the first half is not to get to a yes. It's to build emotional rapport, to put something at stake, whatever that means to you. Judge is what you're looking for is the opening of the listening of Frank, the role player. How open is his listening? How much is he drawn towards the amazing person he's communicating with, Jolie and then Bella, or Bella and then Jolie? And is something at stake for Frank? Because not just connection, like there's got to be something at stake. And how does somebody do that in 3 minutes? That's challenging, right? How do we do that? The second half is where Jolie and Bella will share their amazingness and or the amazingness of their products and services to solve Frank's at stake issue, AKA pain from round one, and then have a yes. Now, Bella and Jolie, the yes doesn't have to be about money. It doesn't have to be about sales, but of course it could be. It could be just to take the 6 minutes that you have in this bifurcated conversation and get to a yes that Frank will talk to you for an hour. It could be that you want Frank to hear a presentation about a charity, a book deal, a movie, buy your direct services, become an ecosystem partner of yours, have him book you on a stage, and he could be anybody that you want. What I like to say for fun is, let it be a yes that matters to you, whatever that yes is in the world. And it makes it more fun, but it could be whatever you want it to be. So with that, Bella, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Jolie, questions?
Feeling good.
Okay, so I'm gonna put and Jolie, you're in California. Bella, you are where?
Texas.
Texas. So you're the away team, Jolie. I have either a 1 or a 2 under the table. What do you think it is?
A 2.
It is a 2. You have won the toss. So you can go first in the first round and you'll keep the choice in the second round, or you can go second in the first round and then it'll be Bella's choice in the second round. So would you like to go first or second?
Second.
Okay, awesome. So Bella, you're gonna go first. Who would you like Frank to be? Himself or somebody else?
Himself.
Awesome. And what's the scenario? You just met, it's a cold call. He knows what you're up to, and he has a problem.
We were introduced to this amazing man named Sean Callaghy, and we were introduced that we should meet and connect, and we might have something that we can connect on. So we're here to discover what that is.
Super cool. You ready?
I'm ready.
Frank, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Bella, take us in.
Hey, Frank, it's Bella. How are you?
Great, Bella. How are you?
I'm amazing. Is now still a good time to chat?
It is. I have about 3 minutes, though. I got to run for
Okay.
lunch.
Well, then I want to maximize our time together, make sure we have the best time, and you're served in the highest way possible. So we'll just jump right in. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
So we were introduced through Sean, yes?
Yeah, amazing guy, huh?
Yeah. How do you know Sean?
I know Sean through the Tony Robbins organization. He's been one of the Platt Lions, and so I've met him at a couple of events, and I was at his Unblinded event in January as well.
Fantastic, fantastic. And then he was telling me something about like this orange movement or something that you're doing. Tell me about that. What is that?
Yeah, it's basically, I played a role twice, and thousands of people came up to me as a result of that and said, hey, I want to work with you. I want to work with you. You've got great energy. And so I started the branding, the movement, and wanted more and more people to come and work with me. So I've grown a coaching business out of this, business coaching, life coaching, and some masterminds I'm working on as well right now.
That's amazing. So you're working on these amazing masterminds, and it sounds like you really love, helping people like exceed and grow. And I'm curious why that lights you up. Like, what does that do for you internally?
It lights me up a lot because, I've always been an entrepreneur since I was 8 years old. I've always had something like yourself, I had some little business. I also grew up little and small and kind of unseen, and I was bullied a lot as a kid. So, to me, I wanted to give back. I wanted to grow some businesses, take charge of my own life, and then give back to others so that they could be inspired and leading as well.
I can definitely relate. I was bullied in high school. I'm tan right now, but I'm typically very white, and I was always like the ghost girl and like pushed around. So I can definitely relate to that. So I'm curious, like how that feels to you to go from like that kid that was bullied to, now this person who gets to influence so many and like actually change so many lives. Like, what is that like for you?
Well, it feels great. I mean, it really does feel great. If I sit back and take moments just to be grateful for what I do, which is tough sometimes, it's always this go, 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 next deal, next thing, right? Trying to help somebody. But when I sit back and actually reflect and be grateful for everything that I have in my life, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. I got to run in about 30 seconds too, by the way. Sorry.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for what you do. And I would love to continue the conversation to see, how I may be of support for you in this movement. Are you open to that?
Absolutely. Give me a call this afternoon.
All right. I'll give you a call in a few.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bella.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bella, very nice. How did that feel for you?
Amazing.
Yeah. Your energy is just infectious. Like there's just such a, like there's a lot there. Like you definitely take up space, but it feels good. Like it's not like a taking up. Sometimes people can be really energized and they can manufacture. It feels super authentic and like, it's just like super present. And when Frank said the thing about bullied, you made an audible, like you felt the depth of your listening and the empathy came across. And for everybody, present listening, micro distinctions that reveal authenticity are everything. So that wasn't contrived. It's because Bella was in her heart, truly present to what Frank was sharing. And in that moment, you just heard it. Frank, do you recall that moment when you heard from Bella that sound?
Absolutely, I did. And I totally felt connected to her, especially when she related it back to her own life.
Yeah. In that moment, truth. Like, I don't know Bella. It was really kind of her and fun that she said, oh, we met through Sean, and Sean's amazing. That, of course, feels good. Thank you for the acknowledgement and kind words. But the moment that Bella made that sound, I was like, I want to know more about Bella. Like, I did not want to know more, but it took it to a different level. It was like, this is an authentic and real person. Honest to God. Like, that was my immediate, not that I didn't think you were before that. Like, it was that moment. And I let that land for everybody. Because if we're authentic and real, but we're in our own head, and we're not listening, we are authentic and real, and we're loving people, we miss that beautiful opportunity for people to get us. So I really want to acknowledge you for that, Bella. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. So thanks for that. Yeah, Jolie, are you ready to drop in?
Ready.
Yeah, who would you like Frank to be?
So I get the choice to have him be a character, a make-believe character, or like a scenario that I met him.
Yeah, it could be anything you want in the world.
Okay, Frank, here's our setup. You and I met at the Tony Robbins after party. We had an amazing conversation over a glass of wine or whatever you drink, talking about a potential investment for a healing center that I have a vision for in Malibu, California.
Hey,
Very cool.
Fantastic.
Love that scenario. So is he Frank, still Frank, Jolie? Or you want to be somebody else?
Maybe he's somebody else who expressed interest in having the capital to put into this healing center.
Cool. Okay. And what kind of capital range would that be?
I'm seeking a $1 million investment.
Cool. All right. So outstanding. So let Frank still be named Frank. If that fits into Frank, he could be authentic. If not, he could slightly alter. Is there any other? And this is a planned call, Jolie?
Planned call. Yeah, we planned it to connect.
Awesome. All right. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. Just say hi and take us in. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi,
Ready.
Frank. How are you? So good to see you again.
Jolie, how have you been?
Oh my gosh.
Great
I
to
had
see.
so much fun with you that night, dancing around the fire pit. You are a wild man, crazy one. I love
Well, it takes one to know one, okay? There goes that fiery red hair there, got us going. So
Oh my
thank
God.
you.
Yes, I love your heart. I loved our connection. It felt so sweet to just be heard for everything I want to do. And I just want to follow up on an offer that you made. I want to make sure you are not too tipsy about the offer that you made for me. And I just want to ground this into what's real and just chat about some possibilities here.
Sure. Well, maybe we did have a little too much, but what I remember of the evening was you had mentioned that you were looking for some money. I do like to invest in great projects. I do like to invest in things that help the world be a little better place. But I got to be honest, I didn't really recall exactly what it was about. Can you explain it to me again?
Yes, yes. So I'm working on a huge vision right now. I've got a lot of momentum. I'm creating a healing center in Malibu, California on a beautiful piece of land overlooking the ocean. And we've got some big time endorsements here. We've got Marianne Williamson on the team, and there's talks of getting Tony Robbins behind this. And the vision is a big one, and it's going to take at least $1 million to get this set up. Mm-hmm. And what this is a full inclusive retreat center for busy leaders, burned out leaders to come and recharge and check in and learn so many different types of healing modalities, from cleansing and food to tantra and sexuality, intuitive work. Every single person is invited, all the influencers that are out there making a difference. And this is going to be a healing center unlike anything that exists out there right now.
Wow. I do remember the details now. And yes, that's an incredible docket of people that you have that are interested in this project. Amazing.
Yeah. And, the real intention behind this is that leaders have a place to recharge. There's a lot that we're holding for the world. There's a lot of healing that the world needs right now. And when we're stressed and our nervous system is fried and our adrenals are burned out, we need a place to come and check in and be seen and to be filled up. And I personally know what it's like to be so stressed out and to be so burnt out and wondering how to carry this mission in the world. I'm just curious about your relationship to stress and why this mission would be important for you.
Well, I have 30 seconds, but I can tell you that, I'm a CEO. I've been a CEO for 33 years. I've run 6 different companies. I've seen a lot of stressed out CEOs. Obviously, I'm at the age group now where a lot of my friends are retiring and selling their companies, and they're into that. What's my next chapter of my life? And they need, a place to retreat. They need a place to refresh the batteries, if you will. They need something like that. I got to run. I got to jump on another call, but I appreciate you being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Very nice work, Jolie. How was that for you?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
So what are you nervous? First of all, I thought you did a beautiful job. You have so we talk about Zeus, goddess, fun, and aspirational energy. So they're I thought you hit, at the very least, well, fun, aspirational, and goddess energy. Like goddess energy is like loving, present, flowing. Like you have that like flowing openness. Like that's very much there. You had aspirational energy, like your adrenals and influencers and needing to go somewhere. That's like a vision. Like it was awesome. And you're fun. Like there's like a funness that's there. If I could just ask, what did you feel nervous about or feel in your head about a little bit? Because I don't think it showed up much. I mean, very candidly. But what did you feel a little bit uncertain about?
Honestly, this is a dream vision for me that I haven't spoken into in a long time. And so just to have the witnessing of people on this and speaking into it, and my first time ever mock asking for an investment just feels like weirdly real and close. And that's making me tingle.
Awesome. Well, I'm super happy to hear that. And if I could give a share from my heart to yours, when you've done it 20 times and it'll become normalized, and you'll know it's your love and passion if you still feel the same way, you know, and I am sure you will. So just repeating and going through that, and your mastery will rise. I thought you did a beautiful job. And, you know, still have the second half, but just that repetition will be extraordinary. So thank you for your vulnerability and for your sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, hey, let's drop in. Raj and judges, if we give 20 seconds-ish of what you found that was working, 20 seconds-ish of what you thought was an opportunity for growth, and then a score. And let's start, Raj, with Bella.
Sure. Thanks, Sean. So with Bella, I love the acknowledgement. I love the validation. I love the level 5 listening. I really like that she started questioning from the get-go and acknowledged the bullying, and it really did resonate that you were grounded. An access point may have been sort of maybe a little bit more matching and mirroring what Frank's energy was, because you came in with a lot of excitement. So I'll give my scores after, and then for Jolie, I love that you were excited about your product. It made me excited about your product. The access point would be, we had limited time, so the questions came a little bit later, and then Frank had to go in 30 seconds. So I wish she started a little bit earlier on the questions. For Bella, I'd give an 8.5, and for Jolie, I'd give an 8.5 as well. For different reasons.
Very good. Excellent feedback, Raj. And I thought, yeah, I'll say something after. Matt, what do you have, sir? Is Matt muted? You might be muted,
Yeah.
Matt. Yeah, there we go.
So Bella had your comment, Sean, about Bella's energy was really on point, and you could feel that over the phone. And I think she did a great job of like some commonalities talking with Frank. Something that I thought she did really well is being able to be relatable and ask some like a little deeper probing questions. One thing with Jolie reminded me of like a super excited 15-year-old girl that has this like big dream going on. I was like, I wrote down giddy, like she sounded giddy with it. And where maybe she's like, hey, this is my exciting dream, that she's just giddy and sharing with it. With Bella, how she was asking questions I thought was good with Frank, where I thought it was easier where she was using Frank's character, where Jolie had maybe a disadvantage of trying to like give an example from meeting at a cocktail party after a Tony Robbins event in La La Land when you're in peak state, right? Obviously any Tony Robbins event after you're like peak state for like a year. So I think Jolie had a disadvantage because if she wasn't using a character, then she could make things more relatable, where also trying to come up with $1 million kind of quickly, if she asks more about what type of investments or things Frank enjoys or he gets more passionate about, then she could figure out some more commonalities. But I think both of them are a really good job. It's quick to do it in 3 minutes. I was like super impressed.
Awesome. And what'd you have for scores, Matt?
So I would say 8 for both. So I think that as we get a little more time, as I've watched these calls from before, and as both these girls get warmed up, then I think they'll build a little bit more on the next round.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt. Awesome. And Joe, how about yourself?
I love what Matt said about Bella having a little bit more of an advantage, because I do believe that. I think they've got this connection that at least I feel going out of the starting gate that Jolie didn't have the advantage with. I love that Bella, when you speak, you literally show up in another person's energy with your heart in front of you. Like you can feel like, here's my heart, I'm showing up. And I think that there's an absence of fear there. There's like no fear because you're like, my heart is like a badass. I'm showing up and this is the conversation we're going to have. And I'm a badass manifester. So we're going to have this conversation. It's going to be fun. And I'm not attached to the end result. I'm hopeful, but I'm not really attached to it because you've handed it off to your heart space to rock it out. So I just love you. Okay. So Jolie, I am so impressed with you because I can tell this is not something that's your forte. I can tell that this is super uncomfortable. Numbers are uncomfortable for you. Financial investments are uncomfortable for you. You're a heart-centered person that's in action of serving others, but not necessarily working, with your left brain, which is very much how I am. So I admire you for showing up under the pretense that you're reaching out to Frank for money. You know what I mean? And I think that you going back to just continually reminding yourself that request is a request of energy, not money. So then you're showing up with your heart space in front of you too, and you're fearless because your heart is so big it can barely fit in that little body, right? The access point that I noticed was at the end of the call there wasn't a follow-up, which, like, I know you were like, let's get this over with. Let's move through this. This is really scary. Which is why you're doing it and I'm not. So that says something about what a rock star you are. I'm in awe. So for scores, I would give Bella an 8.5 and I would give Jolie an 8.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Joe. And Joe, beautiful feedback, Matt and Raj as well. And I'm very present to Joe's discussion of heart space. And for Jolie, Bella, for everybody, for all of us, one of the most critical realignments to disrupt our relationship with our money, our time freedom, and the magic and emotions that we want to experience, all the passion, the enthusiasm, connection, growth, love, etc., that we want, is when we're able to align congruently with what it is that we're up to in the world. I could feel Jolie's desire to have this vision come through. And so when there's also this dynamic, as Joe pointed out, of relationship to money, we need to solve for these challenges, right? Because the congruence of talking about that amount of money, an investment level, like that's just simply the fulfillment of this heart-centered, beautiful dream. So our congruence and alignment on all the aspects of our like limiting belief structures, of our rule structures about life, communication, influence, people, money, our alignment. Let me go slow on that. How we feel about people, how we feel about money, how we feel about integrity-based influence. Our relationship and rules around those things impacts our self-mastery incredibly. And so our congruence in our communication is rooted in how vibrationally, rules, beliefs, emotionally, we relate to those topics, at least, and many others. So thought for today, everyone, we haven't dropped in on self-mastery much, but if you feel like reaching an agreement with somebody, having somebody say yes is something wrongful, which I once did, right? Before I understood that it was our like moral obligation, responsibility to reveal truth to people as we see it. Before that, I was like money, time, energy, and getting those things squared away. Like, how do we do it? We write them out first. Like, what do you feel about people? How do you feel about money? How do you feel about influence? Like going from hello to yes with people with integrity. And what you'll see are dynamics in those answers. And then rewriting those rule structures at the beginning of your self-awareness, you're conditioning those in, which impacts dramatically your integrity-based human influencing skill set. So drop-in point for now, but let's get to round two. So Bella, Jolie said you go first in that last round. So you have choice in this round. So what are your thoughts, first or second?
First.
Awesome. And so Bella and judges, what we're doing here is you've opened an access with Frank. And now it's like, who are you? What are your products and services? And going into an agreement of a yes. And that yes is, again, whatever you'd like it to be. Do you have any questions, Bella?
No, sir.
All right, take us in. Thank you.
Awesome. Hi again, Frank.
Hey, Bella, how are you?
I am amazing. So I know you're on limited time again, and so I just want to jump in and see how, in the short amount of time possible, we can see how we can be of highest level of service. How does that sound?
Sure. What is it you guys do again that can help me?
So I have a sales agency, but I'm really curious for you is, because we talked about, you have this orange movement, right? And, coming back from like your bullying background, and now you help all of these entrepreneurs and business owners, through your coaching and all of this stuff. So where is it that you're at right now? And what is your vision to be from a year from now?
Well, my vision where I'm at right now is I'm doing a lot of individual coaching, small masterminds. And I realize that that's, although as great as that is and as helpful as I've been able to be, it's a small group, right? I want to be able to influence masses, much larger scale, write a book, be on a bigger stage, have a bigger mastermind, have a bigger audience, merge ecosystems with people that are really going places and have tens of thousands, if not millions of people that are part of their team.
Such a beautiful vision. Like I can picture it, like the tens and hundreds of thousands of people like in front of you. What an incredible vision. What do you think the biggest thing getting in the way of like being in the small masterminds now to like being in front of hundreds of thousands of people? What do you feel like is like in the way of that?
What's in the way of that is I think maybe wearing too many hats. I'm a CEO of 2 other companies, 2 electronics companies. I'm a dad, I'm a grandfather now. I've got, I'm being pulled in so many directions. I have a podcast that I'm producing every single week. I'm being asked to be on other people's podcasts. I'm flattered with all this stuff, but it's just, I'm going in a million different directions.
So dad, grandpa, podcasts, like all of the things.
Right.
So in all of the things that you do, what is like your least favorite thing and like the top thing that you would like to remove off of your plate that would allow so much space for you to be able to scale the way you want to scale?
I'd like to sell my electronics companies because I've done that for 30 years. I've influenced, I've done everything I want to do in that space. Now I just want to be really much more in the coaching and inspiring space. And I got 30 seconds.
Okay. So you want to sell, your electronics company. Well, I was the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada, and I specialized in selling businesses for 3 years.
Really?
So I would love to be able to support you in that. Are you open to scheduling a longer call so we can figure out how we can make that happen?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very nice job, Bill. And how'd that feel for you?
I was a little bit more nervous that time, but it was awesome.
Yeah. So here's what is present for me. What is present for me is such a beautiful demonstration of how succinctly stepping into your greatness can convey your heroic, unique identity. I'm going to make you a bet on something, Bella, because you did it so wonderfully. Watch this. Hey, Frank.
Yes, Sean.
Are you genuinely interested in talking to Bella about selling your business?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Like I felt it. So the way, when you said, and this is a key, because people are like, oh, you can't talk about yourself too much. And there needs to be appropriate humility. But as long as you're listening deeply and allowing and encouraging other people to step into their greatness, like Bella did with Frank. He's like, my vision is to stand on stages in front of thousands, to help people, support people, so his dreams are alive. It feels very appropriate and congruent reciprocally, one of the key principles of influence, reciprocity. It feels very reciprocal for then Frank to hear Bella stepping into her greatness. Like, yeah, I was the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada. So there's nothing like weird about saying that, but it's not only not weird, it's like, whoa, Bella, like you're amazing to begin with. The #1 business broker in Nevada. Nevada's a crazy state with all kinds of insanity going on. And you were the #1 business broker? Like what? Like that landed for me. It was like, whoa. So beautiful demonstration, Bella, of succinctly dropping in just something that changes the game. So just game changer. Like that sentence equals credibility, heroic, unique identity. The sentence drops in meaning beneath it after you so beautifully demonstrated listening before that. So does that feel like, does that land, Bella?
Yeah, thank you.
And then in addition, if Bella had more time, then she can go into an example of how she became the #1 business broker and what she's done for clients. But that one sentence in the short time we have creates, makes Bella uniquely congruent and made Frank curious, me curious, and I bet all of you curious. So really nice job, Bella.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Jolie, you ready to drop in?
Ready.
All right, take us in.
Frank, hello. Thank you so much for making space to chat with me again today.
Hi, Jolie. Thanks for calling me back again. Yeah, it was great.
Yes, I know our time is limited, and so I want to pick up with where we left off, and I just really want to tune in with you today and feel what you're looking for in making an investment and why you're interested in this healing center vision. I would love to hear this from you.
Yeah, it's more curiosity. I think, you know, when you're talking about investment, my investment portfolio and the strategies I like to use are based on things that I can see a hard return on. You know, I buy companies, I buy electronic factories. You know, if I buy a sports car and clean it up, fix it up, sell it, buy a piece of real estate, things, you know, stock market, things that have specific values, you know, that I can turn and flip and see a profit on. I've never been involved in something that's kind of spiritual or feel good or, you know, so it's very different. So you piqued my curiosity.
Okay, well, I'd love to show you some numbers. And I really want to express to you that, yes, this is me at the head of this vision, but my team behind me has done this many times before, many successful healing centers. I have some of the best people with me doing this. And so I come with a whole team. And the numbers would be this: we're seeking a big investment. I realize that this is big. For $1 million, we can guarantee 2% of profits until your $1 million comes back to you. And so picture like Soho House membership, people come through to this healing center, but then we have a huge online suite. After you get paid back your $1 million, because I know that's a huge investment, we can guarantee you 0.5% of profits indefinitely. 0.5%. As long as the healing center is open, you still are making money on your return. And there's endless perks for you to bring your family, to bring your friends, to have unlimited amount of time that you'd like to spend at the healing center. I'm just curious how those numbers land for you.
Well, they sound intriguing. Obviously, I'd like to sit down and talk to you more about it. The first question that comes up for me, though, is, you know, what experience do you have in producing numbers like this in the past? Have you done something like this in the past that I would go, oh, she's an expert at that?
I have done 35 successful online launches, and with this book deal that I have, I am headed my way to New York Times bestselling author, and I know that I'm asking you to take a big leap on me because these numbers are big, and they are bigger than anything I've done in my career. The team that I have behind me, I really trust. I really see who the brand of Jolie Dawn is and where she's going in this industry, and so I would actually love to schedule our next meeting with my team, because I know you and I have this connection and I feel your interest, but I really want you to feel the brain power behind me of the people that are helping me make this real.
Absolutely. Well, again, like I said, it's definitely outside my wheelhouse, but you know, your energy alone makes it worthwhile that I want to sit down and at least check it out.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Nice job, Jolie. Jolie, how'd you feel?
Grateful that Bella went first, so I had a second to write down some numbers and calculations.
Very cool. Can I drop in support for a moment? I thought you did a really beautiful job. Would that be of support to you to like give a couple of distinctions that might accelerate you having people say yes?
I'd love it. Yes.
Cool. Okay, so I'll channel my inner Jolie. Okay. So, hey, Frank, thanks so much for, talking to me and coming back from that call. So what I was hearing you say earlier is that you, at this point, sound like you've achieved a lot of the financial success that you desire in your life, and you're really committed at this point to impact and growing in a new way and giving back. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So, and it just underneath this vision, like I get the giving back part, but what's really at stake for you in terms of you growing this movement and impacting people? And, you said coaching one-on-one's not, really, it's a beautiful thing, but not enough. Like, what's this like ultimately all about for you?
Well, what it's ultimately all about is to influence as many people as possible, right? To help. I believe in the ripple effect, right? You drop the pebble and, you watch where it ascends to and travels out to. And I know that, sometimes just that 1 degree shift can make massive changes in the world. So, I want to be in front of as many people as I possibly can and with other people like yourself that have these bigger groups, bigger ecosystems, if you will, that have a big sphere of influence.
Oh, amazing. If all that happened, like, how would that feel for you? Like, if you got all the way there, like,
that would feel amazing.
Yeah, sorry?
It would feel amazing. I don't think you ever really arrive. I think there's always more, but yeah, the journey to get there and certainly seeing success along the way would be amazing.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Frank. Now, I shared a little bit last time we met about what I'm up to. But before I get into that, I think you mentioned at the dinner party we're at that your investments really sit in the sphere of like predictable returns and electronics and factories and things where you kind of like, it's less startup and more existing and more in the space of sort of manufacturing and service based. Is that right or no?
Yeah, that's spot on.
Okay, cool. So this is different. But I think there might be an alignment, and that's for you to assess, right? Obviously. So the people who are involved in this have the level of impact that you're up to wanting to create in the world. So I think one of the reasons to me that you would want to invest in something is because of who it's going to give you proximity to and who you can create a relationship with. And the people who are involved in this include people like A, B, C, and these are people that their names and have incredible ecosystems. And the ultimate vision is not only for it to be a place that influencers can come to gather, to connect, and feel better about life, but also to create dynamics for the people who participate. And if you're a partner and owner in this, you'll be a partner and owner, not only in something super financially viable, which I'd love to set up time to go through numbers and explain that part, but you'll also have the ability to create relationships with remarkable people who are doing exactly in the world what you want to do. Is that landing, Frank?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'd love to do, if it works for you, is to set up a time to come meet with the team to understand more about the investment, which is like at the outset, because I don't want to waste your time respectfully. I don't want to just have them even have a meeting. Like, is there at least a real level of interest? Like, not an agreement, not a commitment, but a real genuine level of interest.
Yeah, when you mentioned proximity to the other investors, that lit me up. That's okay, yeah, because my goal is to create larger ecosystem mergers, and certainly that's one way to do it, other than just the financial, investment in a business.
All right, so we could set up a time, ... Jolie, what's present for you, and what did you think?
You're amazing. Yes, you've totally found the thing he wanted, and I learned a lot through listening to you. Thank you.
No, listen, thank you for your time. And my commitment here is to make something good happen for people who come. So thank you. And this is recorded, right? So that's there. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing, because that's exactly what you're doing, I think. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you. Let's drop in with the judges. So let's start in reverse order this time. Joe, how are you? And what'd you have for Jolie? And what you have in this beautiful situation for Bella?
So first of all, let me start with Jolie, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
You are officially my soul sister and my lift a sister up compadre, because I feel like you just walked through fire and you came out looking gorgeous and brilliant and amazing. And I just have mad respect for you, because I know that touching on those numbers is so it's just so awkward. It's just so awkward when it's not your forte. It's just strange, But I wrote down a couple things. I love that Sean, I really feel like I don't have anything else to say because he said it so brilliantly. But I love that he brought us back to that space of impact. And it felt like the thing that you did really, really well was showing up humble and kind and in your heart space. And that was so beautifully well done. And I feel like I really get it. Like, I feel like this is really important to you, and I totally get it. And I want to cheer you on, and I want to go out and champion it. But I feel like the little sliver that was missing was Frank. I feel like if you're trying to enter into his sacred space, you want to tap into things that are important to him. And so I think that doing a little bit more of that, like generational changes. I'm going to be a part of something that can be a legacy, that can, again, have a butterfly ripple effect to change the world. I want to be a world changer. I want to connect with other influencers. And then that exponential impact that it has. So I think one of the things about your business idea that's so powerful that just touches my heart is the influencer connection, which would be other world thought leaders and spiritual thought leaders doing their thing, and then their followings, their thousands of people being connected to what you're doing. And that's where you tap into Frank. That's where Frank is going to be able to jump in there and have access to millions and millions and millions of other people's followers, and collaborating with the thought leaders and the spiritual teachers that you're bringing in, which is going to change the world, right? Because you're doing this great thing, and I love it. With Bella, you're brilliant. I feel like I don't have a lot to bring to the table as far as critiquing your conversation, but I love that you first attacked, what is his vision? What is your roadblock? What can I fix for you? And I felt like there was something so pure and authentic about you tapping into solving a problem for him, that it wasn't really, very little of the conversation was about you. It was about serving Frank. So I really love that. And you're a pro. So I don't have a lot to give you as far as critique. I apologize for that. I'm just captivated when you talk. But I love it that you immediately stepped into service, and you filled a need, and you were a solution to a problem that has probably been in the back of his head for 10 years. And you brought it to the front and said, I got this. But you were very humble about it. So as far as a score, I would totally give you a 9. I would give Jolie an 8.5, and you are my Jolie. Just you're going to be the badass manifester come this time around next time. I'm positive.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Joe. That's beautiful feedback coming from your heart, and resonates so deeply. So thank you, Joe. Matt, what do you have, sir?
Jolie, 3 things I loved with your presentation. Number 1, you asked engaging questions up front, because you took that feedback, I thought, from a couple minutes before, that you asked additional questions. The second thing I really liked is that you said, if I wrote it down correctly, you have 36 startups that you've successfully done. I think that's fantastic that you're focusing on your strengths with what your background is. And then the third thing that I liked is knowing that Frank is a nuts and bolts kind of bottom line investor, it seems like, at least. You said, hey, I can provide you some numbers with that. One thing I would think that to modify is knowing that he's a nuts and bolts type of person. I would have been a little stronger when finding out like what types of returns he was looking for. So Frank, in the past, when you've invested in $1 million, what type of return are you looking for? What are you looking for, ownership or preferred rates of return? Are you looking for both? Maybe $1 million is like a drop in the bucket for him. It's not a big amount of money. So I think that as we qualify who we're talking to, we get a better idea of like if that's a lot of money or not. That might be just like 1% of his net worth. So it'd be like, oh, I got $1 million. It's something to feel good. I enjoyed our cocktails. I see a young up and coming person. Like he might totally say it's really not even about the 2% of the profit. I just want to invest in something that I feel really good about. So I think that's good for you to qualify. With Bella, 3 things I wrote down. I wrote a lot with her. I like that you said, what are you doing now, and then what do you want to do in the future? So you're finding a gap of what that opportunity cost is. And then what would you want to change? You did that really well. It's like, okay, if you could give up one responsibility, then what else would you like to do? Because Frank said he's a grandpa and a dad, so there's different time that's probably more important to him now than maybe 30 years ago. I wrote down that you restated 3 times of what he said. You used his language, so mirroring was really, really good. And then the other thing I wrote down is like what you'd want to do with like selling that business. So you said, hey, I happen to be a business broker. Can we discuss that option for you? Are you looking for an earnout, or are you looking for just getting paid taxes? What's kind of motivating you with you wanting to take advantage of COVID-19? So I think those are really good scenarios that you shared. I would say, Jolie, I'd give you an 8. Bella, I would give you a 9 based on what you shared. And Sean, sorry.
You go ahead.
You're legit, dude. Your recap for Jolie, I was like, wow, just writing down tons of things, how well you could take a different industry and just pick what's important to him. So I will listen to more of these calls. So thanks for letting me participate.
Matt, thank you for seeing me. And like, it just is what it is, right? Like it's the mastery commitment of my life. So for 23 years, that's what I've studied. I really appreciate that, brother. And I would never be doing this and wasting people's time if I didn't know what I'm doing. And I really appreciate that, because you strike me as somebody who really knows what they're doing. So thank you. And it's received and appreciated. And I get what that means coming from somebody with your skill set, because I can hear it. So thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, Raj, what's up, brother?
What's up, Sean?
So what do you got, man?
So first, Sean, I just want to say that I'm honored to meet all of you guys, Frank, Bella, Jolie. Bella and Jolie, you guys really are an example of possibility for young entrepreneurs and what they can achieve. So it's just so wonderful to meet you both. In terms of feedback, they both sort of naturally fell into the communication model. So I do want to acknowledge that. Bella, I love that from the get-go, you started to identify Frank's pain points, asking questions about him, what challenges he's facing, and then he sort of got into how he wears many hats and he sort of can't keep up and is looking for some help. So I thought that was really, really fantastic. A small access point would be, I think you might have been a little bit short for time when you were conveying your unique identity. When you did kind of talk about yourself, it resonated with me and I really felt it. I wish that I had a little bit more of that, and I wish I got to hear a little bit more of it. You obviously benefit from knowing Frank a little bit, so you know, after the exercise, you know, there was obviously some agreement formation, so kudos to that. Jolie, I love that you were kind of, you know, same as Bella, you got right into it, the pain points, what it is that Frank is looking for, how it is it that you can serve him. And I love that you were trying to identify what is the value that you can bring to Frank. And I love that you had a little bit more time in conveying who you are, your unique identity, what you can bring to the table, so Frank can make an assessment whether you're interested or aligned and whether you can benefit each other. So that's certainly, and you know, that would certainly lead to agreement formation if there was some alignment. So I just wanted to acknowledge you for that as well. In terms of numerical scores, Bella, I'd give you an 8, and Jolie, I'd give you an 8.5, just because you had a little bit more time to convey a unique identity.
All right, awesome, Raj. Thanks for that feedback. So everybody, it has been a remarkable day of beautiful energy, of open flowing, of vulnerability and courage. So if Jolie, if somebody said, hey, like, should I go on that Real Raw thing, like what they're doing over there, what would you say?
Do it. Lean into your fear, be seen, have fun.
No, that is awesome. And I really thank you very much. And if people want to find you, Jolie, how would they find you?
I hang out most days on Instagram at JolieDonXO.
All right. Very, very cool. Welcome. And Bella, how about yourself? How was this experience for you, and how would people find you?
It was definitely super fun, super exciting, and I would also say like warm and fuzzy. And I'm at alignsales.co.
All right. Well, thank you. You did a beautiful job, Bella, Bella and Jolie, of course. Joe, how would somebody find you, and how was your experience? Like, would you recommend judging the Real Raw?
Absolutely. I learned so much watching the two of you, and Sean, listening to you in particular. It was just really, really eye-opening. Frank, you were just so kind and open, and you're amazing as well. But I would absolutely recommend this to anybody. And you can find me, the quickest way to find me, old school for now, is on Facebook at Lift a Sister Up.
Lift a Sister Up. Awesome job, Joe. Matt, how about yourself? Where do people find you? And if people are like, hey, yeah, like that thing, like Real Raw, should I judge it? What's they do?
Yeah, you bet. So I'm going to say I'm a traditionalist like Joe, or old school. I like Facebook because I'm 41, so I'm not on Instagram yet. So Matt Atkinson is easy way to find it. Yeah, I definitely will encourage people to watch this and also participate in your private Facebook group. This was the first time I watched this was actually you had Joseph McClendon and
Chris Crone, right?
Chris Crone, yep, Chris Crone. Which I got to share this. Chris Cronebook right here.
Amazing.
He's from Utah. So it was super excellent. So thanks for letting me participate. Very engaging in these times.
All right, Matt, thank you, brother. And Raj, thank you. And how would somebody find you, and what say you, Raj?
This was just a wonderful experience, meeting people, meeting entrepreneurs and people who just accomplished so much in their life. It's just wonderful, and it's a learning experience for me to see what's effective and see what access points folks have. It's a growth opportunity for all of us. If you want to ever find me, you can go to the Calgulaw page and look me up. And my email is rbhardwaj@calgulaw.com. Feel free to reach me anytime.
Awesome job, Raj. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Orange, where do people find the Orange Movement? And thank you so much for all your beautiful support for Real Raw.
My pleasure, Sean. This is a fun experience for me. I always learn something amazing. And by the way you worked with me in your Jolie space was incredible. I mean, I'm glad it's recorded, because I'm definitely going to go back and play some of this stuff back again. A lot of real bombs on this. If people want to get a hold of me, I am on Instagram at _Mr. Orange, or you can find me. I have a podcast now that I'd love for you to listen to. It's on iTunes and Spotify. It's called Orange Crushing It. So check it out and let me know what you think.
Right. And Vivian.
You need any guests for your podcast, Frank?
Absolutely, Vivian.
Oh, this is Bella.
Oh, Bella. Yeah, sorry. Yes, absolutely I do.
Awesome.
Let's set that up. Okay.
Love
do it.
Bella. She's a rock star. So beautiful job, Bella. On behalf of Vivian, Fernando, the entire Unblinded team, I am Sean Callaghy. I am grateful. Influence is a superpower. Our job and responsibility out there is to be in an abundant mindset of absolute integrity, adding massive value to one another to make the world an even greater place. And this was a remarkably awesome group of people on this Fun Friday. Thanks, everybody. Love you. Be well.